Hey guys, welcome back, and this week we are going to talk a little bit about some different shaft profile issues that we see and we talk about, and customers come in and ask us about at TXG. So today we're going to take one club head and we're going to take what is perceived as a high launch shaft, and we're going to take what's perceived as a low launch shaft. So we're going to see if there's really such a thing as a high launch shaft and such a thing as a low launch shaft. We're going to use our GC quad, we're going to get some numbers and some feedback, and we're going to really be able to show you the difference, that if you think that there's a shaft out there that might hit it higher, whether that's worth pursuing or whether it's not. We tend to see in club fitting world, the 80-20 rule applies. So there's probably 80% of the time a higher launch shaft will produce a higher flight, but there's 20% of the time where it actually will do the opposite of what you think it's going to do. So we're going to put that to the test with Sean today. Sean's one of our club fitters here at TXG. So Sean is a perfect club head speed for us to test with, right around 100 miles an hour, Sean.
That'd be on the top ends, it's 102. So
okay, so you know, hitting at about 250, 260, a good one in the summertime will go a bit further. So that's a nice distance for you guys to sort of gravitate towards. It's similar to what you might hit it at home. So Sean, let's hit a few. We've got a couple of different profiles. Two Acra shafts, Tour Z Extreme, really premium high-end shaft. We have the 200 series, which is what you've got, slightly more tip soft, and then we've got the 400 series right here, which is a really tip stiff profile, played by some guys who really have a lot of speed. Tony Finau plays it in his driver. He plays the 485 M5. Really, really stiff. So let's see if they make a difference.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we'll get a few shots with each, Sean. We'll hit sort of 3 or 4 and see what we can find. Really good job, and you're a right to left player, Sean. That's, you know, we know
that's a phenomenal shot.
That's you. So what we wanted was something around about 100 miles an hour club head speed. Check that out, 100.4. Okay, we thought you might hit it around 260, 263. So you're right on the number.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Couple more. Nice job. Fraction higher.
That's about the normal shot right there.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
What you guys will be seeing from these numbers is Sean gets a lot of bang for his buck out the driver. Swinging it around 100 miles an hour to hit it 266 is pretty good. There's guys out there that maybe swing 105, 106 who hit it that distance, but they're not as efficient as you are in the delivery. So we all know that hitting up on the driver is beneficial. Certainly a club path from the inside allows you to lose a little bit of the dynamic loft. The path moving to the right, the face is closing, so that's good. And we have a marginal toe strike. So all in all, it's all conducive to a pretty good driver pattern. So let's see 2 more. Okay, sounded a little more in the heel, Sean, was it?
Yeah, that was. I'm just going to raise the tee just a tad.
For sure. Yeah, I can see the strike point's a fraction low.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did hit it marginally into the heel, but the bigger factor was 11 millimeters low in the strike.
Right.
Okay, 1 more. Attaboy. Higher strike in the face, we're guessing.
That's right.
Look at the pickup
and then the efficiency
distance.
jumps way up.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Absolute night and day.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your best strike so far, highest in the face. So let's pop into our table and look at what we've got. Ball speed is good in the mid 140 range, excellent. The biggest issue with the first few, and this is the high launch shaft. This is the 200 series. So we actually saw a little bit of a too low of a launch angle. What are we blaming that on though? Is that the club? It's the strike point, right? So we were striking them too low in the face. So we raised that tee height and that made a difference. Why don't we hit 1 more and see if the tee height is the tee height was a big factor there, which it probably was. Okay, fraction low in the face again.
Yeah.
Is that your miss?
Yeah.
That is your miss.
That's
okay.
the miss.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Okay, let's switch over to the stiffer tip shaft. Okay guys, so we've just made a change to Sean's driver shaft. We've taken the 200 series Acura out, the more tip soft profile, and we've popped in the 400 series. So we're going to see some changes to the flight based on less deflection. But I just wanted to explain one thing. Sean was seeing in the first set of shots a slightly lower strike on the face. So worth analysing why that happened. Sean is always been someone who really swings up on the driver. When your golf club is on its way back up, so it works down, reaches low point, then works back up again, when your club is moving away from the ground, the sweet spot is on its way up. So it's very likely if you're too much on the upward angle of attack, you are going to strike it in the lower part of the head unless you have the appropriate tee height. So that can kind of mean playing about with that a little bit to get the right tee height. We saw the fourth shot that Sean hit. You raised the tee height, you hit it in the middle of the club, and you gained about 10 yards in carry. That was huge for you. So definitely knowing what your tendencies are with relation to strike point. You'll be sick of hearing us say this, but it's so important. That's why we use GC Quad, so we know the strike point and where you're hitting it. If your angle attack is up, the chances are you're going to be in that lower half of the head. Okay, right. Let's try this one, Sean. So give us your feedback as you hit a few shots. Let the viewers know exactly how it feels in relation to the first shaft.
Okay, perfect.
Let us know if it feels massively different.
Felt a little more solid coming through. Okay. Not as little stiffer. Little more. Feels like I have to be just that little more on.
Okay, interesting. A couple of things changed there, but let's see 3 or 4 more and see if there's a pattern. We try not to analyze one shot at a time. We try and analyze them in bunches. Nice, really nice strike. Look at the height come up. So there's your low spin, low launch shaft flying higher than your tip soft high launch shaft. Yeah. Which is kind of the point of the video here today is we want to get the message across to people is don't think that just because what it says on the wrapper that's what it's going to do. You've got to hit it, right? You've got to know exactly what the shaft does in your hands in dynamic motion.
This one felt a lot more in control.
Interesting.
For me.
Okay.
A little less. There was a little bit too much movement in the 200 series.
Let's see 2 more. Tell you what, this one
can't really argue with that one.
This one might be going in the bag. Pretty impressive stuff.
Can't argue
okay,
with
give me
that
one more and that will complete our set.
It's funny, up till now I've always played a shaft that's a little softer in the tip. And
because the thing is, you've probably always known yourself to be a low spin player.
That's right.
You're trying to get the launch, you're trying to get the height, so you gravitate to what you think you should use. The reality is that's not always black and white.
Yeah.
So interesting. Okay, one more really good one. Super.
I try to give that just a little more.
I mean, you guys can obviously see Sean is a good player, very good with the driver. Let's throw them in a comparison here. I'm going to show you both clubs. So there's your low launch, low spin shaft flying higher with more spin. How about that? Okay, so you've picked up 13 yards on carry, 10 overall. I think the dispersion was better with that one. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. So there's the proof in the pudding, guys, that you really can't always believe what a shaft is, what they tell you it's going to do. You've got to hit it. You've got to go through the process and test it with your head. We kept the head exactly the same there, a 10.5 Callaway Epic Rogue. kept it exactly the same settings, and what we saw was two different ball flights with the opposite result to what we thought was going to happen.
That's right.
So in terms of feel, what did you feel from both?
The 200 series just felt a little bit softer.
Little loose?
A little loose. And normally in the past, when I've gone to a little more of a tip stiff profile, I've shied away.
Interesting.
And I've shied away because I've been afraid of the quick hook with it and being a little more on. But what this proved to me is I could still give it a little more, and the flight was tighter dispersion, and I actually hit it higher.
Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Now the results are there. The GC Quad told us exactly what was going on. No contest, really. You hit that one far better. So, moral of the story is, guys, come and get fit. Don't leave these things to chance. Come and see us. We'll put your own driver through its test, and we'll test the various shafts we've got. 352 options up here. So, we'll certainly be able to find one that suits your game.